Hey, Real Green Ninja here. The video you're about to watch is a supplement to the existing tutorials and help videos already available on the Real Green website. I do take a more casual approach because I'm presenting this information as I would if you called in, although I may have a little fun with it. This video is based upon the information I, as a Real Green technician, would provide using my experience on the help desk. This video was created on my own time to assist with areas of the software that may be waiting for an official help video or tutorial. At the beginning of the training video, I will have the version of the Service Assistant the video was made with. I will also try to be as accurate as possible, but be aware, as Service Assistant updates are released, things may change. I'm using the name Real Green Ninja as not to stand out from the other amazing technicians that I work with. I hope the information in this video helps you, so grab a cup of coffee, and I hope you learn something new. Hey, Real Green Ninja here. Today we're going to talk about how to map things out to an account on the chart of accounts, which you can then use to export that information out to Quickbooks. So let's begin. The first thing I want to show you is I want to show you the actual chart of accounts that's currently in my system. Now, I don't really mess around with the chart of accounts, so these should be the default ones that everyone has when they first start using Service Assistant. So we're going to go to Data, Company Parameters, and then Financial Parameters. Under Financial Parameters, you're going to see here are the accounts that are currently in the system. We have 7 cash accounts. Again, these are the type of bank. Now, this right here is really for the sake of QuickBooks. You can run general ledgers and stuff if you don't use QuickBooks to see where money's going and stuff. But like I said, pretty much the only people that really mess around with these are people that use QuickBooks and want to get the information out of Service Assistant into QuickBooks. And by the way, how to do that, I do have a crash course on how to use a general ledger, and that's included in there. Right, so you'll see we have like sales tax, organic fertilizer sales, standard fertilizer sales, chloration, grub control, lime sales, and so on and so forth. You come down a little further, we have things like write-off on collectible collection fees, credit card refunds. So again, these are different accounts that are in the system we currently have. Now, if we go to something like an adjustment, you'll see that we actually, again, use the two-column method of accounting in that any transaction you do is going to credit one account and then debit another one. So for adjustments, you'll see here, if you were to do a bounce check credit, it's going to credit account 1100 but debit 8792. And what it's referring to is these accounts right here. All right, so again, keep in mind, we're not accountants here at Real Green. I mean, we've picked up a little bit here and there. We've gotten pretty decent at being able to kind of figure out someone's history and stuff like that. But like I said, we're not actually accountants. So as far as what accounts these should be, for your accountant's particular requirements, that's up to you between you and your accountant. Again, we can show you how to change it. We can show you how to set things up. But it's really up to you to really get in there and then set those things up and then make sure everything's right before you actually start using them. And this is part of the purpose of the video. So if we go to something like prepayments, you'll see we actually have the two accounts for, we can actually select two accounts. One's for residential, one for commercial. Again, it's all about playing around with things to make sure you have it where you want it to be. And again, like I said, I'll explain that in a moment. Discounts and surcharges, we scroll over. We have, again, residential, commercial accounts, sales tax. It doesn't have accounts because, again, it was going to hit their tax account. So that way, nothing gets really messed up for tax reporting and stuff. And then we come here, and you'll see that here we have the different type of payments. And then we have the accounts that those payments are going to hit. Sorry, I have a little congestion this morning. I'm not sure. I hope I'm not getting sick. That would kind of be a bummer. All right. So again, there are areas in the software to tell what account on that general ledger account list you want it to hit. All right. Now, if I go to my general ledger right now, go to Financial, General Ledger. I already cleared it out, but I just want to show you what's going to happen here. You'll see, again, the best way to pull it is general ledger date blank to blank. And then when we do a preview, nothing happens. Okay, so if I go through and just do an adjustment, I'm just going to grab some random person here. Okay, so let's say we want to give this person a $100 credit, all right, and we want to know where that shows up on the chart of accounts. Now, again, it depends on which adjustment code we're going to pick. So let's go back to the adjustment codes. There we go. All right, so if we were to give them let's see here. Let's say, where's our posting error credits? Those are the, okay, there we go. There's posting error debit. Okay, so if we were to give them a PE, again, it's going to credit account 1100 and debit account 9093. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do an adjustment here and put in the account number 31806. And then we're going to do the posting error credit. and we're going to put the adjustment amount of $100. All right. I'm not going to worry about the rest of this stuff because, again, I'm just doing this for the account thing. Save, post, cancel, yes. Now that adjustment's been posted, now we preview. There's our accounts. Again, it credited the 1100 account, and then it debited the 9093 account. So like I was saying, is that you can see where these balances show up, where these numbers show up on this general ledger. So let's go ahead and clear that out again. Oops. Well, that's not an oops. That's what I want to do. Now, if I were to go in here, okay, and I were to change something, it would then change what account it hits. So like I said, you really want to try things out before you actually go forward using it. I did run into a situation where someone was, they set up their chart of accounts. They actually created one called snow removal. And while they were going through and mapping out their accounts for the different parts of the software, someone had made a goof. And what ended up happening is those snow removal services they performed were being reflected as taxes collected. So again, you got to make sure all your ducks are in a row before you actually start using it going forward. Now, the easiest way to do it is just to check to see where it hits. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to Data, Product Parameters, and Services Program Specials. Go to Services, and you'll see right now for my correlation, they're blank. Like I mentioned before, if they're blank, they're going to hit their default account. So I could come over to this customer here. Let's go ahead and add a correlation to this person. Do special job, and then correlation. Now, when I'm doing testing to check to see if everything is where I want it to be, I'm not going to use a really high number. I'm going to make the price of this something like a penny. Okay, let me do 31. There we go. Make it like a penny because I want to see where that penny shows up. And that also, down the road, at the end of the year, your numbers aren't going to be so off. Because remember, once you post a transaction, you can't delete it. Oh, actually, I think there was. I'll put the size in there. There we go. And then let's make this a penny. Again, even though I calculated out, I want to make it a penny because I don't want my numbers and my reporting to be off. Because again, once it's in there, it's in there. We can't do it. I'm gonna go fit that person's special size or size in. Okay, there we go. So now again, with the default account, let's see where this transaction hits. So I'm gonna post done, and then I'm gonna put my date in. Save, post, cancel, and yes. Now, financial, general ledger, preview, and there it is. So you'll see that right now the default for a special job is other specials. Okay, the default for a round in a program is round sales. All right, so again, I've shown you where that penny showed up. Now, when we want to go through and see what happens if I change that chart of account, what I'm going to do is I can hit edit, and I'm going to change the account to actually go to correlation. Again, this is one of those accounts that are set up in there, but it's unless you map it, the system isn't automatically going to put correlations onto that 8012. All right, and again, you may have different accounts for different, certain different residential versus commercial services. So let's let's leave this blank here real quick. Okay, so again, we're gonna hit save, and now that account is changed. What account or the accounts that the service is gonna be tied to. All right, now I'm gonna come back in here, make sure there's a residential customer right here. I'm gonna add another correlation. All right, now again, because I'm comparing, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set this to 2 cents. Oops. There we go. So again, I can see where those are showing up. Make that active, hit my sold by. I think I got everything else. Good, there we go. So again, I'm going to cheat, go right to the done, and I'm going to put in today's date. Save and post. Cancel, and yes. Okay, so now when we do a preview, you'll see there's 3 cents onto the accounts receivable, but now there's the 3 cents in correlation. So if we go to the detailed look, you'll see there's that first penny, there's that second penny. So again, this is a way to check to make sure the system is doing what you want it to, because again, it's going to be debiting our accounts receivable account, and if that's the way you want it to behave, then you have it set up right. All right, so like I said, it's always important to double check it, because like I said, if I've been doing these for $1,000 correlations or something like that, again, once it's in the system, we can't outright delete it. So it's going to throw your numbers off in the year. And again, that's why I'd say try it with a few pennies or whatever. All right. So now let's go through and set up another correlation. But this time I'm going to set it for $1. And the reason why I would set it for $1 is because I'm going to be putting on a discount. And I want it to be able to calculate at least enough of a discount for it to show up, and it's not like some weird half fraction of a penny or something. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my 20% discount here because I want to see where that 20% shows up. Let's go ahead and activate it. Put a sold by. We go save. And then we're going to go ahead and go straight to production. Put the date in. Put the employee. And then, save and post. Cancel. Yes. Okay, now we do a preview. You'll see there's that 80 cents because that other 20 cents came down here and fell into the discount. Again, you can map out and decide where you want these numbers to go. Like I said, you got to be careful because if you set something up and you don't check to make sure it works, you could end up like that other company whose snow removal was being counted as taxes collected. So when they had printed out their tax report, it was showing they collected $10,000 more in taxes than they actually did, and they kind of got freaked out about it, which is perfectly understandable because I'm the one that had to try to help them figure out why their tax report was off so far, and this is what we found out is someone had unfortunately mismapped the account that the snow removal was going to. So as I was saying, you can go through, there's a lot of different areas where you can change what account the chart of accounts or what account the transaction hits. But like I said, you always want to double check and test it using your general ledger, using the detail. And that's also why if you're normally export the general ledger out, you'd want to post the general ledger before you actually start doing all this. Because if you don't post the general ledger before, and I'm going to go ahead and post right here, click yes, cancel. And I'm going to show you something here. Let me see here. Oh, it's too early in the morning. It's only 6:58. All right. So again, if I look at today's general ledger transactions, and again, I posted my general ledger before I did this preview, or before I started the video, you'll see there's a bunch of transactions, and sometimes it's kind of hard to find that penny. Because again, that penny is going to be buried somewhere in these numbers. And again, so like I said, you clear out your general ledger first, and then start, poking around and putting the numbers in and stuff like that. Now, of course, once you've gotten everything taken care of, and everything's mapped out where it needs to be, then you can, start using it going forward. You export to QuickBooks and so on and so forth. So, like I said, I hope this kind of helps a little bit. If you ever have a question, of course, you can always give Real Green a call. But again, we can help you set the things up. We can show you where to add accounts. We can show you where to map accounts. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, though, you have to figure out where you want those transactions to hit. And this is a method of checking to make sure. All right. So I hope this clarifies some things, and I hope this helps you guys out. You guys have yourself a wonderful day.